tuning into another segment on the Sit Down with Malik Wright, presented by First Star Logistics. And we're live, as always, from the First Star Logistics studio. On this segment, we'll be discussing if Sean Payton, the new Broncos head coach, can fix Russell Wilson. I certainly have my thoughts on it, but usually he's behind the camera. He's now front and center. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
So I'm going to make two parts. One, I'm going to hop on your bandwagon. I think the Broncos are going to be good this year. I think the Broncos, at minimum, I think they're a 9-win team. What I am going to say, though, is I don't think Sean Payton's going to fix Russell Wilson. What I saw out of Russell Wilson last year was abysmal. Yes, their entire team was bad. I thought he was abysmal. He took the most sacks in his entire career. He took 55 sacks. The offensive line was bad, yes, but he looked terrible. And I look at one of the moves that they made. They brought on Jarrett Stidham this year, right? They brought him on for a 2-year, $10 million contract. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think Jarrett Stidham's going to play this year. I think we're going to see Jarrett Stidham play a couple, whether it's 3 to 4 games. I'm just not confident in what I saw out of Russell Wilson. I'm not. And you may be laughing at me, but I'm going to be honest. Jarrett Stidham proved that he can be a capable starting quarterback in the NFL with talent around him. And I think they've got talent around him. Right, you got Cortland Sutton. I think Jerry Jeudy breaks out this year. Their running game, once Javonte Williams comes back. So Sean Payton, I think, is going to make their team look great. And I think Russell Wilson obviously has a chance to be good, but he was just downright abysmal last year.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the situation that the fall from grace and the confidence that you had in the Denver Broncos from last year to this year. You were the same guy that told me you were a believer in Nathanial Hackett.
I was.
Let me just say this, and this is not to ridicule you. I promise you we didn't bring you from behind the camera for me to ridicule you.
Yeah, I did.
This is, but the fact of the matter is, he doesn't. I think the point that you're missing is he doesn't have to fix Russell Wilson. He doesn't have to fix Russell Wilson. All he has to do is minimize the colossal F up that Nathaniel Hackett was pretty much in charge of last year.
Yep.
When Russell Wilson was at his best for the Seattle Seahawks days, he had a strong running game, a capable defense, a very damn good defense, right? Play action, and he utilized those things to his strength. Now, somewhere along the line, Russell Wilson had it in his mind that he's Drew Brees. And somewhere along his mind, he thought he was on the same tier of Drew Brees, Tom Brady's of the world. So much as so saying that he wanted more control over the offense. Well, guess what, Russell Wilson? In life, guess what? You have your plus tier starters and then you have your regular starters. Russell Wilson is a regular starter. This thought process that Russell Wilson can't compete in the National Football League or that he is not a starting quarterback on a team in the National Football League is flawed. It's wrong. I'm sorry. I know what I saw to Jarrett Stidham. Guess what? Jarrett Stidham ain't replacing Russell Wilson anywhere at all on the Denver Broncos depth chart as their quarterback this upcoming season. What we should be talking about is, can Sean Payton redirect the mistakes that happened last year? I think that there were a lot of bad things that took place last year. I thought Nathaniel Hackett was ill-prepared as a head coach. He had a lot of hype because guess what? The Broncos didn't want Russell Wilson. The Broncos, they wanted Aaron Rodgers. So guess what? You now paired a quarterback, a head coach that is used to playing with the play style of Aaron Rodgers with the play style of Russell Wilson. Those two don't go hand in hand. So guess what? It took him a while to realize what he had as Russell Wilson because he was playing, or I won't say he was playing, the way the roster, the offense was conducted was almost as if Aaron Rodgers was back there. And guess what? Russell Wilson is not that. However, I think a lot of people are being too low on Russell Wilson. And if this team is truly going to be a 9-win team, it's not going to be because Jarrett Stidham is the quarterback. It's going to be because Russell Wilson's the quarterback. Evan, what say you?
I want to piggyback off what you said. First of all, to address the Jarrett Stidham playing over Russell Wilson, that creates a lot of problems with, is he going to stay on the team? Is he going to get cut, traded, whatever else? If he ended up getting cut after next season, that'd be an $85 million dead cap, like dead hit. So that's $85 million you're paying a guy to not be on the team. I don't anticipate anything like that would happen. And I'm with Malik that really it was a just monumental F up in how they tried to use Russell Wilson this late in his career, where looking back, I said the same thing. Go back to the Seattle roots. What worked? Great running game, good play action, get him out on the move, let him use his deep shots and his moon balls, married with a good run game. And I think Sean Payton can do that. I think Sean Payton's going to do a good job of that. And when we look at last year and how poorly Russell Wilson was used, just evidence to back that up. Career low yards per attempt with 7.3 yards per attempt. Career low big time throw percentage. No more shots down the field for the guy who lives off shots down the field. Career low completion percentage, career worst pressure to sack percentage, not getting him on the move, not moving the pocket, not helping him out because he doesn't just have the athleticism to sit back there and just run away from pressure when it comes anymore. You got to get him on the move. Let him use his arm. Let him use his legs. Get him out of that position. And also career low percentage of play action dropbacks. Like you said, Malik. That's the easy button. And it's not that you want to smash it all the time. It's just that you can't be at your career low on something that you use constantly to help you get these big shots that help you be successful, that have been your bread and butter. So all those reasons are reasons that I think Sean Payton gets him even back to average levels for his career. And we see a tremendous bounce back because that was not Russell Wilson last year. And with the weapons you have, I mean, I know Tim Patrick went down. I know that hurts. Everybody likes Tim Patrick, works hard like hell, and he plays really hard. But at the same time, you still have Jerry Jeudy, you still have Cortland Sutton, and then getting Marvin Mims on top of that. Love Marvin Mims.
That opens up him.
Step in, right. So I don't think there's going to be like necessarily huge drop off, obviously in blocking and run blocking because Tim Williams is great in that. Or Tim Patrick, I'm sorry, is exceptional at that. But still, I think that Sean Payton's going to find good ways to use the weapons in this offense better than Nathaniel Hackett did. And you'll see that boost Russell Wilson's production.
So my question is, and this more on a Broncos standpoint, where do we see their offense being able to match the likes of the Chargers, to be able to match the likes of the Chiefs? I mean, Javonte Williams isn't supposed to be back for a little bit. So do we see their offense being able to match them?
I don't think that they have to be honest with you. I think their defense, listen, I saw some good things out of the Denver Broncos last year. I think the offense, listen, if your defense is on the field majority of the game, they're bound to get points put on their heads. The offense has to respond in some ways. And unfortunately, last year, there were a lot of duds from that offense. And I think that is a combination of the head coach being ill-prepared, right? And not having the team ready. I think that's a combination, 100%. Top down, I think that's Russell Wilson playing out of scheme or thinking he's something that he's really not. And again, you got a rookie head coach. It's almost like, listen, we all have substitute teachers, right, Ev? We all have substitute teachers, right? Substitute teacher comes in, then you get
don't get me even started on Miss Osterberger.
Miss Osterberger. You get the class clown. You get the class clown, which I'm sure that was you. Who the entire school class rallies behind. And as soon as the regular teacher is no longer there or off, let's say she takes paternity leave, whatever the case may be, and that substitute teacher comes in.
Maternity leave.
Maternity leave. I said maternity. That's it. It's one of those days. But that student that pretty much leads the charge pretty much gets to run roughshod because they know what takes place. They know what goes on. They know the ins and outs. And I feel like Russell Wilson sort of bullied Nathaniel Hackett in some ways, not whether it be intentional or not. But you talk about, listen, Nathaniel Hackett's coming in, first-time head coach. You're coaching a Super Bowl winning quarterback, regardless of what people want to say. Russell Wilson has been to the Super Bowl twice in his career. He's won one and has been a part of some prolific teams. Of course, you're going to listen to his input. Of course, you're going to hear what he's got to say, right? Because you want to make sure this marriage works. You want to make sure that you're catering to your franchise quarterback. With Sean Payton's been to the mountaintop. Sean Payton's coached one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Drew Brees. Sean Payton's had success in the National Football League. He's won Super Bowls. He won NFC championships. He's a perennial playoff, making appearances in the playoffs. His teams are always gamed. He's not going to take Russell Wilson's ish. He's going to do what's best for the Denver Broncos and what's going to put this team in the best position to win. And that's what I'm excited about because I don't think Russell Wilson's going to have to, quote unquote, try and match the Patrick Mahomes of the world, the Chargers of the world. I do think their team as a collective, there are three phases in football: offense, defense, and special teams. And I think all three of those phases need to show up. And there's one thing that I will say about Sean Payton: his teams are always prepared. Yeah. Always prepared. Is he a little bit overrated as a coach, in my opinion? Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. But do I think he is a huge, massive upgrade over Nathaniel Hackett? 100%. That guy didn't know where his ass was. Just being honest with you. Yeah. He's not a guy that should be in the position. And everybody was sort of, hanging on to his jock straps. They were pretty much pumped up about this guy getting a head coaching job. And he said all the right things and it looked nice. It sounded nice. It sounds good. Sounds cool story, bro. Right. But guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And now you got a guy in there in Sean Payton who's been there before, who knows what it takes to win. I'm just excited because I now think the Denver, like Ev and Daniel, the Denver Broncos have had an abysmal list of head coaches as of recently. Now Andy Reid is going to have to now try to out-scheme Sean Payton. And Sean Payton's going to now have to try to out-scheme Andy. I think Sean Payton's a better coach than Staley.
Yeah.
I think he's a better coach than McDaniels.
Yeah.
I made up a bold prediction already. I think the Denver Broncos win this division. I really do. I do. We went through the Chiefs' schedule yesterday. There are some spots that are easy for them. There are some spots that are going to be a little bit tough. I think the Denver people are writing the Denver Broncos off way too early. Way too early. I think the Denver Broncos are going to shock a lot of people. And I'm not saying that they're going to wind up going to the Super Bowl, none of that. But I think that when you look past the team, the Denver Broncos have come close to beat the Chiefs last, in the past
Week
few
17
years.
last year.
They came close.
3 points.
I remember when Drew Lock was the starting quarterback and they were winning that game. They're well on their way. And then series of misfortunate events happened. Chiefs wind up winning that game. But the Broncos were leading the entire way. I believe in Sean Payton. I believe that he can rectify the issues that Russell Wilson had last year and the Denver Broncos team as a whole had last year. Because what people don't talk about, it's more than just Russell Wilson. The team as a whole lacked last year.
Yeah. So one thing I'm going to say, and just the more we talk about it, this is more of a prediction, but I think Samaje Perine's going to have a massive year. I think he has to, because Javonte Williams, obviously, he's not healthy right now. And we know the Broncos in the past, even the Sean Payton-led offenses, they ran, 2 running backs all the time.
Mark
Alvin
Ingram,
Kamara,
Pierre
Mark
Thomas.
Ingram, all those guys. So just the more I'm looking at, I think Samaje Perine, and in order for this prediction to be true, right, Russell Wilson get brought back to life, they need that run game. And who's it going to be? Samaje Perine? Regardless, I think Samaje Perine has a breakout year this year. So
yeah, no, I think they signed him with intent, with purpose, and with that in mind. And I agree that the Saints have always relied on a committee of backs from Reggie Bush, Darren Sproles, Pierre Thomas, the list goes on, Mark Ingram,
Latavius Murray,
like the list goes on. They relied on a diverse run game and then mirroring a passing game off of that. And I think that is really going to help Russell Wilson in terms of the play action game.
You know what I'm looking forward to, man? I think we're going to your point. I think that we're going to see a massive return in play action Russell Wilson, man. People forget.
You got Cortland Sutton running downfield all the time. When
Judy.
You can send Judy downfield on those intermediate routes, man.
Marrying it behind a running game, making it work for you, right?
I mean, heck, just deep shots on straight vertical routes from
Marvin
Mims.
My God.
I mean, Marvin Mims is just going to be flying down the field.
Crazy thought.
What's crazy thought, man?
Crazy thought. What if the Broncos reached out to the Colts?
Oh, gosh.
Just hear me out for a second.
JT?
About Jonathan Taylor. What if? Well, that would open up. And again, we're
because then you have to pay him. That's the thing. That's the part that's attached to that, right? Is you can't just trade for a guy and then not give him the contract and then he ends up sitting down. So do you feel comfortable giving him the 14, 15, $16 million he's asking for?
This is true.
So you got to give up assets.
My mind is going.
We're back to the Jamal Adams part where it's like you trade assets for him and then you put yourself over a barrel where it's like, okay, now you need to give the contract. Otherwise, you look like an idiot.
I'd be more inclined if it wasn't a running back, right? But we know how that is. But again, wow. I'm excited to see.
It'd be fun.
I'm excited to see what Sean Payton could do this upcoming football season with the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson.
I like Javonte Williams, man. I think he's going to be good, man.
Yeah, it's got to see him bounce back.
Their offensive line was not very healthy last year either, man. So I think
I'm still shocked that their offensive lineman is still sitting out there. What's his face?
Kansas State, Dalton Risner.
That's shocking me.
Yeah, I know.
He's still sitting out there, man.
I mean, I like their addition of Ben Powers, Mike McGlinchey. They've already got Garrett Bowles there. Lloyd Cushenberry is fine on the interior. Like, I mean, they're good at a lot of spots. So I feel like good health, better scheme, better play calling. I think that's going to be very beneficial for everybody.
And they say Russell Wilson's lighter too. They said he's in very good shape.
He probably needs to, man. That's probably, I mean, he's always kind of worked out real hard and been good about that, I think. But that's definitely good to hear. I think he was not as fleet of foot as he's used to.
Definitely not.
And
heavy footed.
Like I said, I think there's ways that they can help, like getting him on the move and within the design of the play, as opposed to just saying, hey, drop back and avoid somebody coming straight at you. But yeah, that's definitely going to help him.
100%. If you like more video content like this, do us a huge favor. Give this video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live from the First Star Logistics Studio.